Logo sole se nella revogo lo solita va ya 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 Robi asule punga inune ale rama ulok solita va ya 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 ay 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 Aliana tu pour inune ale rama ulok solita va ya 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 ay 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 Aku tuyuran motivo ulok solita va ya 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 ay 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 Hobi asulak punga inune aligama ulok solita va ya 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 ay 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 ay
There is no place like the Arctic. To use the phrase big, bold, and beautiful would be an understatement. Frozen for 9 months of the year and completely dark for 3 of those, the Arctic represents one of the most delicate ecosystems on Earth. Our beautiful land, or Nunnatissiovat to the natives. It is a place whose magnificence is sharply contrasted by its harsh climate. Historically nomadic lifestyles have taught the Inuit to survive in such a stark landscape. And through respect, conservation, and delicacy, they have managed to survive for thousands of years. Baffin Island, the 5th largest island in the world, is currently home to about 11,000 Inuit. Dispersed amongst 9 settlements, Iqaluit is the capital with a population of around 7,000. At 68 degrees north, the Arctic Circle cuts across Baffin, with 3/4 of the island laying inside the imaginary line. These settlements consist of never more than a few thousand people, and often are home to less than 500. Heavily relying on the land, these Inuit communities are able to sustain themselves mostly through hunting and fishing. However, as the international shipment of goods becomes increasingly easy, younger generation Inuit often become more interested in what is on MTV than how to survive on their own land. Comparable with many ethnic groups that experienced the atrocities of forced assimilation, religion, and boarding school, Inuit communities, with particular attention to adolescents, have problems associated with addiction, abuse, and suicide. But don't let this misguide you. The Inuit peoples are the most kind-hearted, compassionate, and outright burly group that I have ever spent time with. It is an honor to have lived and become friends with some of these people, and I look forward to the day that we will see each other again.
Sumanelo ako ni Marilog, Inuit ayun na sa palawkot. Ay mga tuwin na aksurok sutik, inusong minik pinasok sutik. Kahit sumanelo ako ni Marilog, Inuit kimot sa palawkot. Ay mga tuwin na aksurok sutik, inukadimin ni kayok sutik. Kahit sumani si Bolivi ni Bud, ayak do patu binit. Now lang ni abatang nilo, mayong nero takak sutik. Kahit natara ang utit ilangat, ataw si Vita kao na ni Rami. Kahit miminit sa ruarlo ni, kaso mga takalesibo.
Good count by the river.
35. See, here's a bag. What do we got? Drew, what are you doing there, dude?
I'm fixing the hanging stove.
Oh, okay. Sweet, dude.
What are you doing?
I don't know, man.
Are we still in Reno?
Yeah. No, I'm at the airport right now.
Are we in Baffin?
We've mentally
Projected ourselves?
away from the state of Nevada.
Big cliffs ahead. Warning, large cliffs.
2005 coming right at you, baby. Woo! This is what we like to call freezing your little fucking tushies off. This is the no-hand cigarette rest with the French blow. Oh yeah.
Like your mama told you, always trust the Inuit.
What animal are these guys tracking? Wolf. Wolf.
What are you calling it? A black goldfish?
Go fish?
Yeah.
Alright. So 5 plane rides, 12 hours of snowmobiling, way too much money. 7 days later, arrived at Stewart Valley. And Drew, what the fuck do you think, dude? Look at this place, ladies.
The climb here, man. Let's go back to fucking Vegas.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have Stewart Valley and Drew.
Credited with the highest concentration of big wall rock climbs in the world, the northeast coast of Baffin Island is truly a climber's frozen paradise. Our new home for the next 45 days and location of our climbing objective, Stewart Valley was the most impressive rock climbing venue either of us had ever seen.
How are you feeling right now, Drew?
Nothing to climb here, man. We should go back to Vegas.
Yeah? Vegas was pretty nice.
I'm telling you one thing. Those fucking 3 liters of alcohol ain't gonna last.
Huh? Welcome to bouldering in Baffin Islands. First, Drew's gonna hone his skills on the lower boulders of the Stewart Valley. Afterwards, he will head up canyon towards Great Cell Peak. Dun dun dun, dun dun dun, dun dun. Look at him focus in the boots. Mind you, he looks like he's out of a 1976 North Face catalog. Yeah, Drew. Yes. Good, dude. Focus, Drew. Focus. Look in his eyes, ladies and gentlemen, and his footwork. Wow. Exceptional footwork, Drew. Here comes the crux mantle. We'll go around to the backside for this. Look at a mantle, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. How was it, dude? Alright, he's ready. Great Sail. Dun dun dun. Stewart Valley. Dun dun dun. Campsite. Dun dun dun. Insane. Damn, dude. That's the biggest avalanche I've ever seen.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have dreams anymore. It's the Arctic. I don't sleep. I wake up in the middle of the night screaming.
Nothing about a carton or something?
My body is frozen. My hands, legs, feet, they're all limbs. Numb, dead, cold to the touch.
What about your dream, though? Tell us about
I
that.
was walking around with a carton of cigarettes and holding its hand. We had some drinks at a coffee shop, and then it was crying. I think it was sad because I was leaving. By the way, this is day 3 without cigarettes.
Day 3. Drew's road to recovery. Alright, we're headed up to work today. Boom. Moving some stuff.
For 8 days, Drew and I worked our way up the initial snow, ice, and lower rock pitches. Using the 1,200 feet of rope we brought, we would leave camp, hike up the talus field, Jumar to the previous day's high point, climb a pitch or two, and return to camp. With 24-hour sunlight, we quickly lost track of the hours and days and found ourselves climbing at unknown times of the day and night. It also became apparent during this initial week that the other members of our group did not share the same psyche to climb as Drew and I.
How many times do you think you've done that hike there, Drew?
That's like the
11th. 11 times, probably 3 with haul bags over 80 pounds. What do you think the boys back at camp are doing?
They're probably either arguing, spanking each other's moms, or Ross is calling Pete a narcissistic fuckhead, and Pete's saying to Ross that he has no balls. I think they're either doing that or sleeping. Because if they're awake, they're definitely doing that. Or eating. They eat a lot.
We need to explain to the viewers that also in Baffin Islands we have a little soap opera going down at camp.
This is Kyle. It's about 4 in the morning, but it definitely doesn't look like 4 in the morning. Nope. It looks about 6 a.m. or 8 a.m. or midday, whatever. It all looks the same here.
It's Baffin, dude.
Kyle is whacking away at some copperheads and rivets after this beautiful fucking crack. He just ate it out, which would have gone free at probably 511A, but he decided not to do it because it is a whopping 5 degrees. Or colder. We're not sure. We haven't seen the thermometer yet today. That would be base camp. This is the way that we came up. If you see there, original fixed lines, up to here, and here's Drew's most amazing lead ever in his entire life. Just sheer shit.
Right, 2005 Scare the Bears expedition continues. I am flaunting the mullet today because it's a celebratory day. We are leaving the confinement of base camp. One more look at base camp here. There's our water hole. There's Drew. Are you psyched there, buddy? You have everything. Wallet, keys. What'd you do with the car keys, dude? Did you lose those again?
Yeah, I left them in the ignition.
Damn it.
I'm hauling bags in the Arctic, man.
Looks Looks like you're dealing with some fat little pigs there.
Yeah. They're not the lightest little fuckers I've ever had. Let's put it that way.
First day up on high camp here.
Doing a bit of decoration, bit of painting.
Decoration painting. We did move in last night to our new pad. Here it is. I'm sorry for the mess. But yeah, we got kind of stuff everywhere. Just kind of organizing stuff. Can't really do much when you have 5 feet by 3 feet. But doing what we can. Socks. There's the laundry department over here. It's also the cooking area. Here's the system. Marley's playing right now. And then the best part is you just look outside and, well, look at that view. Not so bad. Typical Baffin night. We were doing fine until Drew landed himself in this situation. Drew's done about 8 hook moves. No gear. No gear. Back to the belay.
Relatively young rock, geologically speaking, the climbing consisted of thin, discontinuous seams that were separated by hard, scary hook moves.
Okay.
Not good.
The dink?
Dink.
Dude, you're fucking crazy.
Come on.
Talking to his piece.
I'll be downright honest with you boys and girls. This is just dumb. Come on.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, he may have done it. Maybe not. Nice job, man. How was that?
Hey, 4 hooks.
Yeah?
I'm not done yet.
You're not. Can't see it right now because it's covered in crap. Also known as the weather.
With subideal weather for the duration of our climbing days, returning to the relative warmth of the portaledge was a welcoming experience. Living head to toe for the 12 days we spent on the cliff, my cousin and I would talk about life, love, family, and future goals.
That takes crap after this, dude. Man, it was windy up there.
Was? How's breakfast, buddy? How's the banjoing? Ding 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 ding.
Yeah, open your door a little bit more.
Salami. Chilling. Chilling. Ding ding ding.
Go change the weather.
Mmm, steamy hot bowl of crap. Drew's about to get worked in some chess. Yeah, right.
So Kyle, this is a pawn. You can push the pawn 1 or 2 at the first time. Then we go to the summit, yeah, and we smoke the cigarettes and the fags.
Push, baby. It's going down right now. Could have picked a little bit better day. I can't really see too much. I'm gonna guess 30-hour push here. This is like the NBA Finals. Right, the sun has made its first lap. We're still on the summit push, but it's turned to this. Drew is donning the free climbing shoes. Right, hour 20 something over 4 at least, 28 maybe. So here's a rarity, ladies and gentlemen, captured on film. Sun.
The feelings of accomplishment and mutual respect while belaying Drew on the final pitch exceeded far beyond any of our previous climbs. As I Jumared up, cleaning the last few pieces of protection, I couldn't wait to pull over the top and give my cousin an enormous hug. "I'll go anywhere in the world with you, my friend," was all I wanted to say. And as I pulled onto the summit, he beat me to it. No video exists from the top of the Wilson Wall. Exhaustion had overwhelmed us. We hung out for an hour or so, took some pictures, and headed back down the fixed lines for our first bit of sleep in 30 hours.
What do you think about Grin and Barrett, Drew? What do you think about Grin and Barrett?
Grin and Barrett, man. Grin and Barrett. Perfect. Quintessential name.
Yeah. Drew, you look pretty bummed to be leaving the portaledge for the confinements of ground, where you'll be able to walk around and
Being able to walk,
it's gonna suck.
to shit where I please, to urinate in something other than a bottle, and to not have to smell not only my own rancorous stank, but that of my good comrade and friend.
You should get a shot of him because he's.
After the most physically demanding week of my life, I left the Arctic, empty, exhausted, confused, incomplete, and heartbroken. I vowed to myself, Drew, and the Arctic that I would return. And 1 year later, in the spring of 2006, I found myself, alone, standing at the exact spot that I had seen my cousin for the last time the previous year.
Alright, and there he goes. My friend Ilku is out of here. Yeah, May 11th. Now the real fun begins. By myself. Ow!
It is difficult to explain how I felt during the year after watching my cousin fall to his death. Imagine having half of your mind and body taken from you and put in a place that you know exists, but that you can't find. In 2006, I spent 2 months out on the land by myself. I skied, climbed, fished, sat out storms, read books, wrote, and reflected on the previous year. I thought that returning to the Arctic and spending this time alone would bring an end to Drew's death. I have learned that searching for a conclusion is not the appropriate way to manage the loss of a loved one, but instead to view these experiences as gifts or lessons. It has been my life's greatest fortune to have been given this gift. I hope the things that I have learned from Drew's life and his mistake are visible in myself, and I hope that these things resonate outward.
Yeah, today is the day I've been working for about a year now, and psyched that it's finally here. I'm gonna go up to the base of the wall and say a few words that I feel like I didn't get to say last year. Say my farewells to Drew. Give the mountain something back that belongs to it. Well, it's been a year and a couple weeks since I was last right here on this same ledge, and I don't know, this past year I've worked really hard to get here, and it's pretty crazy being back here. Come a long way to be in such a small place. I've felt a pull, an inner pull, this entire year to come here, and I think it's been Drew pulling me, and I just want to say thank you, man, for that was really fun climbing that wall with you. I miss you a lot. There's a lot of people who miss you, and thank you very much. I'm very honored that to spend the last couple months of your life basically one-on-one. I didn't bring much with me, no cigarettes for you, but I did bring you a little coffee. So, here you go. And I also just want to say goodbye. And everywhere I go, everything I do, I'll take with me everything that you taught me, all the times we had together, and everything that we learned from each other. And thank you so much for that. You taught me a lot. Thank you.
Did you know my son, Drew? He was a climber, a rock climber, a damn good rock climber. Not little mundane boulders, but massive, sheer rock faces that pierce the sky, that dwarf the valley, that tower majestically, that inspire awe and fear. Rocks like El Capitan at Yosemite, Washerwoman in Canyonlands, Seneca Rocks in West Virginia, Red River Gorge Rocks, Red Rocks in Nevada, Rocks in North Carolina, Black Canyon of the Gunnison Rocks, Rocks in Utah, Devil's Tower in Wyoming that the Native Americans hold sacred, and finally sheer faces on Baffin Island near the Arctic Circle, cold and forbidding. Innumerable rocks. It was technical climbing, not hiking, but inching up a seemingly insurmountable rock by tiny finger holes, depressions in the rock for a toe to cling to, a crack to wedge into, or a sheer face to drive pitons into. The rock was hard, oh, very hard. It brought out the best in Drew. He clamped his hard body onto that hard rock, and by technique, calculation, muscle, flexibility, and more importantly, by will of mind, he conquered the rock and the fears within him. It took his whole being and gave back immense satisfaction, an adrenaline high, and unfathomable beauty and grandeur. It would be for a few hours, or a day, or several days, or weeks with a final 36 straight hours of pushing, of being completely exhausted physically and mentally. He shared that with other climbers who placed their trust in him and he in them. For ultimately, it was their lives that they entrusted to each other. Camaraderie evolved from that premise, the same camaraderie shared by climbers around the world, at campfires, in tents, on ledges, on summits, at bars, sharing beer and stories. He loved it all. It was his passion, his reason for being, his calling, his one true quest for perfection. He was born for the rock and for the rock to feel his presence. It was about him and the rock. The way he lived his other life reflected his climbing. He was uncompromising in his aspirations. He cared little for things and appearances. He lived a Spartan existence. He refused to conform to anyone's expectations but his own. He did not prepare for life in the future, but lived in the infinite now. He looked deeply for a meaning to life and was undeterred when little was apparent. He meditated and believed in the sanctity of the Spirit. He was of an uncommon spirit, and yet there was a softness with people. He was loved and returned love. He shared himself with others. And there was one abiding lover to whom he always returned. She completed him. He was friendly to all except the bully and the cruel. His smile lit up a room. He was a true friend to many. He was loyal and gave without reservation. He would go to any end, to any length, to rescue a friend. He looked for the good. He felt their pain. He was flawed, but more interesting for it. He told big stories of questionable validity, and yet experiences of greater magnitude were never told. He argued. He loved to argue. He argued to hear himself argue, to the distraction of others, until one cried out, "Be done with it." He argued the esoteric and the inane with the same intensity as the profound and thoughtful. He smoked on and off, and when confronted with its dangers, lamely replied, "Well, you've got to die from something." At times he was full of shit. At times he was full of himself. In the end, it all comes to this. He did not desire longevity, but to live bravely. He did not desire death, but accepted it in the natural course of events. He drank deeply, burned brightly, and climbed high. He was poised on the edge. As he plunged to his glory, he looked up and smiled at his cousin. "Did you know my son, Drew?" "I see now. You could tell 1,000 stories about Drew. But did we know him?" "Not really, but we loved him well."